Thanks for joining us at the table. I'm Fiona. Joining me for a chat this week are these fabulous ladies, Shona.
Hi.
Mary Ellen.
Hello.
And Melody.
Hi.
Good to see you, ladies.
How are you?
Great.
That's good.
Feeling really pumped up, if that's where you're going with that.
No, I wasn't.
Hey, this week we'll be talking about kids and meal plans. We'll also be looking at the issue of fast fashion. Cecily Patterson is in the studio with us. She's a mother of four, an editor and a mother of an autistic child. So she'll be sharing her wisdom and knowledge on her journey. So do stick around and keep it locked right here at the table for that. But first up, it's time for some quick topics with the ladies.
Oh, yay.
Their favourite part of the show.
Let's just insert the always groan here every time. Like, oh, bring it on.
Are you sure about that? Bringing it on right to you. Toilet seats, up or down at home?
Oh, well, I have two sisters, so we've never had a problem, so it's just always down. Yeah.
Mel?
Usually down, like even the cover, so...
Yeah.
And it's fair, everyone has to touch the toilet seat.
It might change, though, when Elliot gets a bit older.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I live in a house full of boys.
I was going to say Shona.
Yeah, I'm always putting it down.
Yeah,
You don't battle it, you're just like,
No,
oh, well, you
I've
just
given up
accept your
battling
fate.
that one.
I mean, it's changed for me. Growing up with boys, the toilet seat was always up. But now with girls, well, no one goes to the toilet because we're still changing nappies. So that's a different dilemma. How many kids are you planning on having, Mary Ellen?
Oh, no, don't ask me that.
Or did you... Yeah.
After having the plastic babies. After Lee. Look, I always wanted about 3, but I'm not sure. 2 to 3. No more than 3. I wouldn't be able to manage that.
How about you, Mel? Are you planning on having any more children? Or, well, I guess I should go back to when you were young. How many kids did you want?
Wow, really?
So I'm sorry, Ellie, I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
God's got different plans for all of us. I know that's for sure, because I'm with you. It was 0. It was all about career and that, and then it changed. And I love being a mother, just like you, Mel.
Aww.
Yeah, and that's why going to be having number 4 soon, God willing. Shona,
hope
what
I
about
don't go
you?
Well, yeah, I'm sitting in the majority here for a change because I wasn't having any either.
You weren't having any kids then?
I was... Well, can you guess?
Yeah, well, yeah. Just interesting that none of you were the kids.
I've ended up with 3 and a grandchild on the way.
I know,
so,
congratulations. Congratulations, Shona. Good to hear. Now, what is your all-time favourite thing to do with your family? Just quickly.
Oh.
Hang out.
Eat, hang out, going to the park, going to the library.
We always had this tradition. It's about half an hour north of Sydney. It's a place called Brooklyn. We used to get fish and chips and go swimming in this little, fenced-off area. It was really nice. That was my favourite thing.
Favourite thing to do?
Church.
Church. Boys enjoy it as well now.
Yeah, when
and
they were little. Not now, I wouldn't know what to tell you.
But it's funny because they might go back to that.
Yeah, they will.
Interesting. We'd love to know what's your favourite thing to do with your family. But hey, next, coming up, a lady shared her experience on essentialkids.com about how she relinquished control when it came to planning meals with her family for the week and let her kids plan the meal for the week. In fact, what surprised her, they didn't have takeout every night. They picked green curry one night, they had sausage sizzle another night, they had cereal, which is very important, and they also had sushi, yes, cereal for tea, and finished off on a salad night. How involved are your kids when it comes to planning meals?
Mine have always been involved because we're the foodie family, so yeah. And even now, the kids will say, "Oh, I want this" or "I want that."
So
for
you
dinner.
prep with your kids, with the
I
boys,
wouldn't go
and say,
that far. We did when they were little, but not so much now because they're both out working or studying or whatever. But
so on the day, do you say, "Hey, what do you want for dinner?"
Yeah, saves me having to think about it all the time.
Yeah.
See, in my household, that does not go down because meal planning is such a foreign concept to me. My mum is not the meal planning type of woman. She just looks at what's in the fridge and pantry and just makes it.
I love that. Practical.
That's exactly what we do.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably quite a common thing. But she'd be like, "Oh, what do you girls want for dinner?" None of us will have a clue. So in our house, it's often just roast vegetables because we have nothing better. So it's interesting the boys know what they want because I don't.
So what
Not
if
at all.
you were planning the meal for the week? If you were getting involved in that, what would your meals consist of that week?
As in, if I was planning meals,
cereal.
Well, they'd be quite healthy. I would, vegan, plant-based. I'd be as healthy as I possibly.
Do you help
could
your
be.
mum cook?
Yeah. We all help our mum cook at home. But she probably does half of the cooking and we do the rest.
Just curious though, but what would your meal choices impact? What was the impact that your meal choices would have on your family? Would they like it? Would
Yeah,
they
probably not.
Because at some point
Probably
you're
not.
going to have to start meal planning
Exactly.
because you're going to move out or you're going to get married.
But
you're
it's a
going to have
completely different
children.
thing if you're planning your own meals versus you letting your kids plan the meals. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that. I think that'd be a...
I like to
think that, you know, if you have kids, you raise them up to a certain, like, you know, there's this Bible verse where you raise them up the way they're meant to go, even when they're old, they won't stray from it. If you've raised them up to be healthy, you would think that they would make healthy choices as well.
Although I've heard of kids going in the complete opposite direction, like their parents are fanatical and then they just end up eating junk food when they move on, that kind of thing as well. So you don't really know.
Well, that's why this mother was quite surprised and shared her story, because they didn't have fast food every night. They had something different. What is important, though, is that, sorry to kill everyone's joy, but the fact that we're planning meals with kids, I mean, a quarter of the population of the world doesn't, you know, they don't have enough food. They're living in poverty. And I did some research. World Vision
Yes.
actually said 1 in 9 people don't have enough access to food. So
Or live under $2 a day.
$2 a day.
Yeah.
So how do you meal plan on that?
Oh, again, though, I've lived in those countries, so it is cheaper to eat in those countries, but...
Grow your own.
Yeah, and a lot of rice and a lot of soup. It's still not very nutritious.
Yeah. I think it's important, though, when we are planning with our meals with our family, to put reality in there.
Talk about it.
Be thankful. Be thankful for what I'm serving up and enjoy it, because some people don't have enough. But hey, now one thing that you can add to your meal plan this week is this tapioca breakfast that Gia and Olive are cooking. Let's check it out.
We are making one of the tastiest breakfasts that you'll ever have. You have to try this recipe. It's a must. It's a sago breakfast, tropical because of the fruit and because of the coconut milk. And we're going to show you how to make it. I went to a friend's house a few years ago and made this. Well, I didn't make it. They made it for me, and it changed my life, seriously. That's how you're going to fall off again if you do that. So we've got to cook the sago first. And what it is 2 cups of water. And this will make at least enough for 4 people for breakfast, if not more. And 1 cup of sago, or they're tapioca pearls, and you can buy them at any Asian store. Some supermarkets have them as well. And 1 can of coconut milk. And I'll turn on the heat. And you have to always stir it. So every minute or 2, just check it and just stir it. It doesn't take too long. It's probably about 10-15 minutes to cook, but you won't be sorry once you try it. So we've been cooking the sago or tapioca pearls for about 15 minutes now, and I wanted to show you what they actually look like when they're done. So they start to look clear like this. See how that little pearl has become clear or translucent? So that's how you want it to look. If they've got white in them still, like the little pearls have a white dot, they're not ready, okay? You must add some water as you're cooking. I did add a little bit of water just so that it continues to cook out. That's what they look like. And we are gonna put some here. So we make little breakfast bowls for everyone. Do you want one? Olive has her own little bowl, her little breakfast bowl. So what you do is you put tapioca in first, or the tapioca pearls. And then what will we put on top? We'll put some fruit on top, some strawberries, put some blueberries, strawberries on yours, strawberries, and mango, why not? Okay, so you put the fruit of the season, or whatever fruit you have, cornflakes on top, because it gives it that little bit of crunch while you've got the softness of the tapioca pearl. And the tapioca is warm, and you put a little bit of cold milk on top. We use soy milk, but you can use milk that you like. Just a touch on top, that cold versus the heat with the crunch. Drizzle some honey on top. Would you like some honey on yours? Okay. Your morning breakfast, tropical tapioca. There it is. Can you see that? You must try it. I'll say it again. Must.
That looks really good. In fact, the Samoans have a similar thing called suafai, and it's got banana in it. So check me out for that recipe. Thanks. Good work, Gia and Olive. Now, if you love the healthy dishes Gia and Olive are always bringing us, we're giving away this recipe book today, absolutely free. It's the Nourishing cookbook from Sanitarium. All you need to do is send us your name, your postal address, and the name of this week's giveaway book, which is Nourishing. Email us at hello@thetabletv.com, or leave a message on our phone call in service 1300 300 389 for those of us in Australia and 0800 694 673 in New Zealand. But now we take you to an article that was in Sydney Morning Herald. Have you heard of the concept of fast fashion? It's about consumers purchasing more new clothes than they are recycling old ones. In fact, the Sydney Morning Herald talked about it as a tide of second-hand clothing that keeps growing even as the demand of reusing them is disappearing. Mary Ellen, our millennial, what's your understanding of fast fashion?
Well, the thing is, fashion retailers, fashion designers, H&M, Cotton On, all these, big brands, they've got new clothes that come in every season and often multiple times per season. So it's essentially just shopping for things that look nice, even though you probably won't wear them. The average woman, I read in the article, maybe it wasn't the article, but only wears an item of clothing 7 times on average before she thinks, oh yeah, I'm just going to chuck that out. 7 times?
Yeah, but it's probably fallen to bits within
well,
that
that's
7
true
times.
as well. I mean,
That's what fast,
Here we go.
that's what fast fashion's about.
Yeah.
They make it quick.
Yeah,
it's only made for a certain lifetime. And
it's
then
not durable.
Yeah.
As opposed to slow fashion, which is about more quality items and whatnot. But
part of fast fashion is also because it's cheap and affordable.
Yeah.
So it comes straight off the catwalks and then
straight
No,
off
it's straight off the floor.
sweatshops.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And then it gets manufactured in these sweatshops where the workers are not paid much.
To be fair, though, H&M and Cotton On, they don't use sweatshops.
Yeah,
but
they're
still,
not better, yeah.
but still, it's cheap stuff that everyone can afford. So when you can afford such cheap stuff, you don't really think about the value of it. So buy, throw away.
Yeah,
I'm done.
that's the bit that worries me is the throwing it away. Why we've got into a mentality that we either store it in the wardrobe and never look at it again, or we just go into the rubbish. We don't think about recycling it. We don't think about op shopping it.
Well,
we don't.
Interesting. I think my family, because we've always been into op shopping. We always give our clothes to the op shop, but often they don't even want them because they've got too many clothes to begin with. So what do? I guess you throw it away.
No, I've got a tip.
What is the tip? Because you have one of the most eclectic wardrobes that I've seen, Mel. How often do you shop and how do you get rid of unwanted clothing?
I actually don't shop very often. These clothes are more than 10 years old. This is almost 20 years old.
It's about good quality buys, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. And also with the recycling and stuff like that, yes, we've got too much stuff. It's just crazy. But one of the things that H&M is really good at doing is they're closing the loop. And so if you don't want the clothes that you have anymore, bring it into them. They'll give you a discount even to shop further with them, but then they reuse the rags and whatever you have,
that right?
and they make new.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's lots of that going on now where they're remaking recycling clothes into blankets or lots of other items.
Yeah.
So, we need to think outside of that box of just chucking it into the rubbish and getting rid of it.
Yeah.
What
We'd
can
love
we
to
do
know
with it?
what you think about recycling clothes, about this fast fashion. Let us know on our Facebook, Instagram or YouTube, thetable.tv.com. Keep it locked right here. But next, we take you to another fashion capital of Australia, which is in Melbourne, where 35 vegan protesters took to a steakhouse in the CBD of Melbourne in King Street and chanted and yelled against these diners who were eating meat. How far do you go to prove your point? Would you have
Not that
enjoyed?
far.
Yeah.
Something I find difficult. Like I originally became a vegan about almost a year ago now. I did it for health reasons predominantly, but then I was really convinced of the environmental and sort of animal welfare side of things. But when you prioritise animal welfare over human relationships, I think you've got it around the wrong way.
It's a bit skewed, isn't it?
It's a bit skewed.
Yeah.
Your problem, is it the way that it's the animal slaughtered, or is it just these people coming out and attacking other people for eating meat, just for eating meat?
Well, I mean, the slaughtering is an issue, obviously, and it's inhumane and disgusting the way they do it. But I don't think that you can give someone the right to go into a restaurant and probably scare quite a few people as well.
Yeah, but then when do you stand up for what you believe in?
Yeah,
And this is my problem. It's not, even if you take it away from the vegan and da-da-da, when do we start standing up for what we believe in as Christians?
Would you do this? Would you go and, prove your point as a Christian to other non-believers? Would you be standing there?
I don't think I'd be one
At
of
a
the
nightclub,
people
for
that
instance.
would bury my head and just keep eating. I think...
But this isn't a case about when do you stand up, though. It's about the delivery, however, because no one likes things forced onto them.
Yeah.
And so the delivery is just horrible. You think about meat-free Mondays. It's the same concept. It's all about promoting veganism.
Yeah.
But meat-free Mondays is a bit more successful. It's a bit more accepted worldwide because they're going.
Because it's passive. It's very passive. I wouldn't even know what Meat-Free Monday was because I've never heard about it. So,
But there's so many documentaries and there's so many ways you can share information now. You can hand out flyers, you can, share
But
with your
as
friends
they
online.
stated
There's other ways of preaching your
Yeah,
point.
but as they stated in the article, it's working too slow. They want it to happen faster.
But in 2017, it was the most amount of growth in veganism ever, and there's a documentary on that as well. So,
Look, how annoyed were you at this vegan protest? We'd love to know. Share with us on our Facebook and YouTube pages. But now, Mandy makes time for a flea and tick powder. Let's check this out.
We love our furry pets and we love to protect them and do what we can to make sure they are healthy and safe. Not so fun seeing them scratch when they have fleas or having to deal with those dreaded ticks. So we're going to focus on our pets today. I'm going to show you how you can make your very own flea and tick powder at home. You'll need a glass bowl to mix this with. You'll also need a glass container to store it in. I'm just reusing an old glass jar here that I have just drilled some holes in the lid. You'll need a fork to mix and then a funnel just to make it a little bit easier to get into your glass jar. So to start off with, I have 170 grams of demataceous earth, or better known and much easier pronounced as DE. So this is very similar to bentonite clay and comes from fossil shells. So this makes the big bulk of our powder here. I'm going to add 55 grams of my arrowroot powder. So this just helps to dry it out a little bit more so it's not moist on your pet's skin. Then we're going to add in 115 grams of patchouli powder. Patchouli has really great benefits for getting rid of insects, repelling them. They really don't like the smell of it. And then we have 55 grams of our neem powder. Neem is also an ingredient known for repelling bugs. So all of these products are really, really safe for your pets. It is recommended that you don't use this on a puppy before they are 12 weeks old, and I would consider checking with your vet before you use this on a pregnant or a nursing dog. Now to add our wet ingredients. So I'm going to start with some patchouli essential oil, and we're going to add about 10 drops. Next oil is some geranium oil, and we're going to add another 10 drops of this one. Next one we are going to put in here is some lavender essential oils, so 10 drops of this as well. Next we're going to put in some of our neem oil, so it's going to be about half a tablespoon roughly of this. Then next we will pour in some of our citronella essential oil, so we're going to do another 10 drops of this one. And lastly, we are going to pop in there some vitamin E oil just to help protect and again soothe our pet's skin. So we're going to pop about half a tablespoon of this one in. All right, that's all of our ingredients. So we're just going to mix that all up now. So now I'm just going to put that into my jar. There we go, that is the last of it in there. Now, as you can tell, I still have a lot of my powder left over. So I'm just gonna put that into a glass jar to store in a dark place until I need to top up my bottle again. All right, now that is all ready to use on your pet. So when you put it on your dog, it's good to part their fur so you can see a bit of their skin. We wanna make sure we get the powder down there on their skin. So I'm just gonna work my way from her neck, down her back, parting her fur as I go, trying to get it as close to the skin. So once you've got a decent amount down the spine there, we're just going to massage that in. And that's all I'm going to apply. You don't need to apply too much to them. I'm going to do that about 3 times per week just to help keep her protected during the bad flea and tick season. So thanks so much for watching this hack. I hope you found it helpful to help with your pets this season. We would love to hear from you if you try this and what you think about it. So let us know on our Facebook page at The Table TV Show.
for that, Mandy. Now, if you want more Mandy Makes remedies, At the Table magazine comes out monthly. All you need to do is send us your information, hello@thetabletv.com, and we will send this out to you each month for free. Why not subscribe a friend or a neighbour or a family member? If you don't need it, pass it on. But anyway, right now we have Cecily Patterson in the studio. She is a mother of 4, an author and an editor, and she's also here to share her journey as a mother of an autistic child. His name's Cameron. We're blessed to have you here, Cecily.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, when did you first start noticing something was up with Cameron?
Look, his first birthday was a disaster. By the time he was 18 months old, he still wasn't talking. He was running away constantly. He was a really difficult child to deal with and was constantly melting down. I think when he was around 3 to 4, we had at least 6 to 7 major half-hour meltdowns every single day.
Because you had children prior to him, so you
I had one child,
Right.
and I've got 2 more after him.
Right.
So, yeah, I could see, oh, he's not doing this at the same rate that she did it. You know, what's
But every
going on?
child's different,
Well,
so how
and
could
that's
you...
what everybody said. Every child's different, and boys are different from girls, you know. Boys are different from girls. Well, it's not that different. So I took him to various people, and look, it was a long and torturous process, and eventually he came out with a diagnosis of autism, which surprised me. And then I thought, oh, well, that's good. We've got the diagnosis. Now we know what to do, and nobody knew what to do. So I kind of had to figure it out on my own after that.
So what did you do?
Okay, so what I did was we enrolled him in a really great therapy which looked at basically normal childhood development and providing an opportunity to relearn what every baby learns automatically, and that's called RDI, Relationship Development Intervention. We changed his diet, made a huge difference.
Right.
We did go down the medication route for a little while, but back on vitamins and supplements now, and it's, you know, he's really doing
So
well.
how has your journey with Cameron affected your relationship with God? Has it enhanced it? Has it?
I was pretty cranky for a long time because my life was really hard and I couldn't see how any of this was benefiting anybody, and I was really mad, really.
Yeah.
I'm actually really curious because, yeah, you know, when you were saying that you got diagnosed and this is what we do, we went to school, it sounds like it's just a really straightforward process.
No.
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
It would have
wasn't,
affected the family dynamics as well. like what
Actually,
Mel was
kids
touching.
with families with, you know, difficult, challenging children have a very difficult family dynamic. For example, going on family holidays has been really difficult because we can't find something that we all want to do, or he doesn't want to do it, or he can't do it. So, you know, all of those things, they really make a big impact.
So I hear, you know, the struggle as a mother with an autistic child.
Yeah.
But how have things gotten better or improved? What have you found in yourself as a woman of faith that have, you know, made you think he's been a blessing to our lives?
Yeah, he
is the flip
he
side.
is a blessing to our lives.
Yeah.
He really is. He's adorable and very, very funny, and very, very rude, which is very, very funny because we all just go,
Because you've
well,
got
we
to
have
dig
to
deep,
laugh.
right? You've really got
Yeah.
to dig deep sometimes.
It made me re-examine the idea of what love really was, and it's easy to love someone who's really easy to get on with, and it's easy to love a child who, you know, hugs you and smiles at you and does all the right things. It's not so easy to be loving towards a child who is really difficult every day. And so to examine the idea of, well, loving is giving anyway. You know, you can't expect it to come back. It was a really big thing for me.
And did you have much support from other families or your church?
We've had a lot of support from various people, more from different people and more and less at different times. Our church has always been fantastic. We're in a little church, and they, you know, they just allow things to be what they are, which is lovely.
I want to go back to the thing about what you were saying about love. So how did you what is your definition of love in the sense that how do you feel it? How do you find it now with a child who may not be able to show it the way people normally do?
Well, I just remember that God loved me before I was particularly nice. And when you understand how much God loves you, you can love your child. I mean, you love your child anyway, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you love them so much, you will do absolutely anything for them. And then you have to remember to show that every day as well. So, you know, learning to become patient, learning to go, well, that doesn't matter. The way I look like a fool in a supermarket doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't care anymore.
No.
I really don't. Many of the things that you're supposed to do as a successful-looking parent, I don't care. I really don't, because it doesn't matter. What's important is am I being patient? Am I being kind? Am I being, loving and giving all this space to this child who needs it? And going back and meeting him where he's at.
And that's for all children, not just child with a child with a problem.
It is for all children,
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I've learned to love all my children and my husband and everyone else better because I have this beautiful gift of this kid.
Cecily, you have an amazing life because you've got so much, time and energy that's spent on, maintaining a family. But you also you write a blog and you write children's books, was it? Do you want to tell us something about that?
Oh, yes, I
think
do.
it's
Look,
fascinating.
I've always wanted to be a writer ever since I was 8. And it's difficult for me to go out to work and get like a normal job because I do have so many children. And also because sometimes it's hard to be away, like I need to be there for him and for the other kids as well. So I write books from home and you
actually wrote one about your journey.
Oh, yes, I wrote that. That's a memoir, so that's called Love, Tears and Autism. And then I thought, well, I've always wanted to write a novel. This is after baby 4 was born, so,
Like things to do.
things to do. So I thought, right, I'm really going to do this. And I sat down and wrote this novel for young teenage girls, aged sort of 11 to 13.
Right.
And I've written 5 since, and another one's coming out in August. Wow. So,
So what do you cover in those books?
I like realistic fiction, so I can't do fantasy. I'm no good with mystery plots. I just like girls' lives, the friendships, the rubbish, the fun stuff, the stuff that makes them think, who am I? What sort of person am I? And I just make up little stories about.
You actually have this colouring book as well, which has got more reflections, more beautiful Bible verses.
Oh, that's
for
good fun.
colouring.
Yeah.
You published this colouring book, which is really good. Like it's for adults and children, and it's got Bible verses.
It's
here.
very
Like,
beautiful.
He is not here; he has risen,
Yep.
as he has said in Matthew 28:6, and you can colour in and it's
Yeah,
pretty
they're
cool.
lovely. They are lovely. And the funny story about that was the artist. I'm not the artist because I can't draw for anything. But the artist, she's a friend of a friend on Facebook, and I saw one verse that she did, and I just loved it so much. I fell in love, and then I couldn't sleep for about 3 nights. I thought, she needs to have a book, and she needs to have a blog, and she needs this. And I thought, well, I could do that. And
But you need to have a break.
So no, stay busy. Stay busy.
I like to do things.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
How do you look after yourself in the midst of all the things that you're doing, the book writing, looking after your children, being a wife?
The thing that I have to do is exercise, which I really don't like to do, but I've got a very fit friend who said to me, Cecily, you must get fit, come and exercise with me. And I went, oh, right.
Blessing in disguise, I'm sure.
Oh, terrible.
Just love friends,
And
don't you?
I whinge so much, but it's really good for my mental health. And I love music. I've started learning the cello and
lovely.
Reading. Yeah.
I'm thinking about parents who are watching this who maybe just had their child diagnosed with autism. What would you say to encourage them?
I would say, first of all, courage and love to you. This is a big challenge for you. First of all, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Nothing really great and good is going to happen in the real short term.
Yeah.
So you've got to be prepared to, to keep going. And
Thank you
look
so
after
much,
yourself.
Cecily. We've run out of time, but please, if you want more information on Cecily, please hit us up at thetabletv.com. Until next time, have a great week. God bless.